Hello, basketball fans, and welcome to today's show, where we will be talking about all the latest news in the world of NBA, from the potential retirement of Carmelo Anthony to an insight on an exciting prospect. This, plus other latest NBA news. What do you think is the most astonishing thing to happen in the basketball world this week? Stick around to find out. Starting off, is Carmelo Anthony leaving the NBA? Carmelo Anthony's career isn't getting better, it's getting worse. The surefire Hall of Famer is a free agent right now, and there's no word that he'll be signed soon. Is it fair to ask if his 19-year career is over? This isn't the first time that basketball fans have wondered if Melo's time in the NBA is over. After being picked third overall by the Nuggets in 2003, side note, it's been almost 20 years, and the fact that Darko Milicic was picked number 2 still blows my mind. Anthony spent his first 8.5 seasons in the league in the Mile High City, then 6.5 seasons as the star of the Knicks. Anthony played for the Thunder for 1 season and the Rockets for another after he left New York. Well, 10 games to be exact. Anthony was traded to the Bulls, but they let him go right away. For a moment, it seemed like we had seen the last of the 10-time NBA All-Star. Anthony, who won the NBA scoring title in 2012-13, seemed to be out of the NBA until the Blazers called him in 2019-20. Portland gambled and gave him a contract. Anthony spent 2 years with the Trail Blazers and then 1 more with the Lakers. He is now a free agent again, and questions about his future are getting louder. Does Anthony still have a place in the NBA? If so, where might he play next year? Here, the Sporting News explains everything. Is Carmelo Anthony ending his career? No, is the short answer. Back in March, Anthony laughed off the idea that he might retire at the end of the season. He also said that if he does retire, you won't hear it from anyone else but himself. Anthony wants to keep playing, but unlike LeBron James, he doesn't want to play long enough for his son to join the league. His son could be drafted as early as 2026, when Carmelo will be 41. Next, Victor Wembanyama's 2023 NBA draft pick, Scoot Henderson, is much more than a consolation prize. The 2023 NBA draft class is expected to be one of the best in recent years, and the number 1 prospect, Victor Wembanyama, is where it all starts. You've probably heard of Wembanyama by now. He's a 7'3" French big man who really lives up to the term unicorn, which is used too often these days. The 18-year-old guards the rim and catches lobs like you'd expect from someone his height with a 7'9" wingspan, but what makes him truly unique is that he plays more like a wing than a traditional big. Wembanyama can create his own shot by dribbling the ball. For a player his size, his jump shot is surprisingly smooth, and he can attack the basket with surprising speed. Teams are already getting ready for what should be an epic tankathon in the NBA this year because of these factors, but coming close to winning the lottery would not be a consolation prize for any team. That's because Scoot Henderson, a guard in the G League Ignite and the consensus number 2 prospect who is hiding in plain sight behind Wembanyama, also has the potential to be a franchise-changing talent. The 6'2", 195-pound guard has already played a full season of professional basketball, but he was not eligible for the 2022 NBA draft because of his age. Henderson is the first Ignite prospect who wasn't immediately eligible for the draft. As he gets ready to start his 2nd season in the G League, he has become the face of the development program. How good is Scoot Henderson? Henderson has good size, strength, and length. He's 6 foot 2 inches tall and weighs 195 pounds. His wingspan is said to be 6 feet 9 inches. He already looks like an NBA combo guard. The first thing you'll notice about him as an athlete is how quick he is. He doesn't waste any time getting going before he jumps up and aggressively goes for the basket. Henderson is at his best when he gets downhill and uses his speed and strong frame to absorb contact, get around defenders, and finish at the basket. This is by far the most impressive part of his game. He moves quickly and smoothly when the court is open. He can push the ball straight at defenders who are backing up or running hard through the lanes to make easy layups or dunks. Once he turns a corner and gets past the first line of defense in the half court, he's hard to stop because he can throw a quick pull-up jumper that keeps the other team guessing. Henderson's pull-up game is very dangerous, and it's much more advanced than what most prospects can do. He has a smooth shooting motion and a high release point, and he can also stop on a dime. The two things together give him the confidence to make mid-range jump shots quickly. Henderson is more of a point guard than a shooting guard because he can do a lot with the ball in his hands. This past season, he handled the ball along with Daniels and Hardy, so he's only just starting to show how good he can be at making plays. During his first season with the Ignite, he showed signs of being a good passer. He knew when to take what the defense gave him by making simple reads to find open teammates. He showed some advanced passing skills every now and then, which we can only hope to see more of when he takes over the offense next year. Henderson looks ready for the next level after just 1 season as a pro. The rest of the G League should be scared to see how he grows in year 2. Well, what are some ways he could improve? Henderson is already very good, but he is only 19 years old and has a lot of room to grow. His lack of three-point shooting is his biggest flaw, but the fact that he is already a legitimate threat from mid-range is a good sign for his future growth. Henderson only made 21.6%, 11 of 51 of his threes in his first season with the Ignite. He had trouble finding a rhythm both when he caught the ball and when he drove to the basket. Even though he has good shooting form, he'll need to go beyond the arc to make the most of his offensive skills at the next level. He could also get better at making shots by getting better at handling the ball. Henderson has a great pull-up game, but he hasn't quite learned the step backs and side steps that players who score a lot use to get more space from defenders. You'd think that would happen over time. Henderson still has a long way to go on the other side of the ball. He has the skills to be a physical and disruptive perimeter defender, but we haven't seen it yet. He had trouble keeping his assignments in front of him when his opponent dribbled. He would often try to steal the ball as his opponent drove past him. He does have quick hands that he can use to poke the ball loose, but sometimes he did it too much. As a guard in the pick-and-roll heavy NBA, he can get lost trying to get around ball screens, but that should get better as he plays more. Henderson is already good enough to play in the NBA, but if he can improve in those few areas over the next season, he'll be as well-rounded as they come when he starts his first season in 2023-2024. Finally, NBA investigating 76ers for possibly tampering regarding James Harden, PJ Tucker signings, report says. The NBA is reportedly looking into whether the 76ers tampered with or talked to James Harden, PJ Tucker, and Danuel House Jr. before they signed with the team as free agents. Adrian Wojnarowski of ESPN said on Friday that the investigation is focused on Harden's decision to turn down his $47 million player option for the 2022-2023 season and re-sign at a lower price. The move freed up enough cap space for the 76ers to sign Tucker and House, who are seen as important pieces. Tucker signed a deal worth $30 million over 3 years, while House signed a deal worth $8.4 million over 2 years. Harden's restructured contract is said to be the reason why the league is worried. It turned into a $68 million for 2 years, with a player option after the 2022-23 season. Harden will be able to get out of the deal again and try to make a better one. Wojnarowski said that the league is looking into whether or not the two sides have already made a handshake deal on the future contract. If they have, that would be against the league's collective bargaining agreement. Teams aren't allowed to talk to agents or players before June 30th, when free agency started at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. The most a team can be fined for tampering is now $10 million. This is on top of the $6 million fine for bad deals and the $5 million fine for comments that try to get players from other teams. That is all we could cover in our limited time today. However, make sure to subscribe for more NBA news in the future.